asked me where I would live at. I said, I live here. I live in the neighborhood. This is my house. He's like, I never seen you around here before. I was like, well, what the hell? Why are you even stopping me? You have no right stopping me. Ziggy, you're on. I'm sorry, guys.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, it was crazy. He just reached over and started grabbing me, filling in my pockets. I'm waiting for the cops right now. I was assaulted by a Freemason Sheriff's Department here in the Freemason Port St. fucking Lucie. Ziggy, go ahead. I'm sorry about no intro. Just get down with it, babe. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm waiting on the sheriff. I'm waiting on the sheriff, another Freemason fucking sheriff to come here. I'll be right back.
Okay. Amy, can you stay online with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Ziggy. So, well,
That's crazy, huh?
This totally threw me off.
Yeah.
Because, it's amazing what's going on. Did you see that link? Did Rev send you that link about what's going? What somebody posted?
I'm not sure.
Anyway,
let
me do this first. No, let me do this first. Hey, everybody, this is Ziggy. It's the 25th of September, and it's a Saturday, and hello to my show. Hope everybody is all right. Obviously, Rev has experienced something not very good. I would remind you of the yard sale, what's still going on with Sam. We are apparently one or two people behind the people who are leading. So please invite your friends, just click yes or attending, and hopefully we will beat. I don't know. I think Snoopy is in the lead at the moment. So, Snoopy and also the Berkey filter system. I'm totally now off my what I was going to say. Berkey filter system, $25 for 10 tickets, and by the Thanksgiving, U.S. Thanksgiving, you can win it. Your name will be got out of the drawer, and then hopefully we'll win the water system. And I hope I'm going to get my tongue in order and my mouth in gear, because it's not looking good at the moment. Anyway, I was supposed to have a guest today. Now, there's a little bit of a thing going on because he hasn't got Skype. And that's a bit of a problem because I've got no long distance. And he's an author in the United Kingdom. And he actually wrote a book about Omar Khadr, who was actually, when he was 15, he was arrested by the military in Afghanistan. And he's the youngest child soldier, Canadian citizen in Guantanamo Bay. He just turned 25 this week. So, and he's still sitting in there. And I really wanted to speak to this guy to get the story out, because it's not really much covered here. Sometimes it is, but every time something, if he goes to court or something. So I'm going to try talking about it, but I think I'm just going to do a general talk about, reason being what's going on with Rev J as well. Maybe he can, update us, or even we can record a conversation with this, see what's going on in the background when he's speaking with the sheriff. I don't know if that can happen, but anyway, Amy, how are you today?
Oh, too bad.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm not very convincing anyway.
No, and you can put much over people's eyes, but we know exactly when you're low and when I'm low. So, anything happened? Any news from your end?
No, nothing too new really. Just same old stuff, pretty much.
Okay.
So.
Oh, another thing what happened today, I want because I can't get this one guest, so I thought, and then coincidentally somebody wrote to me on Facebook. He wanted to be my friend, and since I didn't recognize the name, I thought, okay, I'm just going to click on him and see what's happening there. Mm-hmm. And it was a Thomas Hockenberry. So I clicked on his friends, and turns out he wasn't very happy because he wrote something on his Facebook page. Something. First of all, when I looked at his Facebook page, there was a disgusting video about somebody's head being chopped off. You know.
Hey, Ziggy, stop
What?
putting on my head. That hurts. Cut it out.
Oh, Constantine, please get a cup of coffee, please.
Hey, I did too.
How are you doing, Constantine? Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I need a little bit of help because my guest. Shut up. Did you look at that video? I mean, I can't get anyway. This guy, asked some questions. If he thought he was against Muslims, and there was something posted like,
No.
this will happen. This will come to North America, and I asked, why did he write that? And then he came out with Sharia law and all this and that. And then I asked, does he hate all Muslims? And the last message I got from him was, go away, liberal, along with your Islamic faith.
Right. I get that a lot.
And then I was blocked.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody
okay.
seems to think I'm a liberal now, and I think it's funny because I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't buy in and out of that crap, guys.
No, me neither. So
I have so many friends who say that there's just no chance that you can't buy into it, that whether you believe it or not, you're one or the other. I'm like, yeah, well, that's your problem. Like, you just can't see past the whole left or right thing, can you? You can't believe there's anything outside of that, right?
yeah, I mean, and then he said, but before that, he said, why are you asking these questions? And I said, because I couldn't understand it. I wrote, I don't understand it. So that's why I'm asking, why did you write this? This is coming to North America.
Yeah.
And then he posted some other stuff, and I'm thinking, oh dear. And then I asked people to help me just in case, because I invited him actually to call in, which I'm very much doubt now. So
Yeah.
so I've got no guests today. So that's
So you weren't trying to hook up or anything like that?
oh, don't start. Get your mind out of the gutter, please.
There's a smile on your face now, isn't there?
Oh yeah.
Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
He's funny, Constantine. So anyway, now I'm looking for. So Rev J has got trouble with the police, with the female police.
He sounds
Oh,
pretty
this
good.
He doesn't he just? Anyway, there was a link posted. I don't know if the link was posted also in the other chat, but something going on. This guy was posting something. Something is going on. Did you watch that, Constantine? Maybe you can elaborate on that very quickly. Did you see that link? About this link?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of like doing some mass mailing out stuff. I haven't had really a chance.
Right. Okay. Anyway, this is. I'm just gonna click on it. What's actually? It's just coming up now. It's about a homeland mobilization. What's actually happening? It's supposed to be happening. There's something. I just read you that most likely possible events, as my own monkey mind can come up with: immediate bank holiday shutdown, attack on Iran, major hurricanes or other natural disasters, as far-fetched as it sounds, alien disclosure, if they try to march U.S. soldiers out against the people without just cause. They will find themselves being hunted like dogs by those who their thought worked for them. So I'm wondering if Samantha is actually still around. I wonder if Samantha can play that. But maybe not. Maybe she can play it on her show. But if she could, that would be great. Because it's this young man who had some information that there's going to be, all these troops have been told there's like a maneuver or something, when they go out. But, but they also say that they're going to try to round up civilians in the United States. I don't know. He doesn't know much more about it, but he said he's got an insider, and some of the troops are very upset because they didn't get much notice. And also people have been warned to get their backpack ready, ordinary people. Well, I mean, they haven't been told because this guy is telling it because ordinary people really don't know. A survival pack, to get a survival pack ready. Because either there's going to be a natural disaster, which I very much doubt, but there's also a hurricane hitting the Gulf, which could bring up a lot of shit from the ocean. So I really do not know what's happening there, but I'm...
Yeah, it'll make the poop rise.
Yeah. So that's quite... actually, when I watched it, and I wish I'm going to try to share it now on the link on Informed Radio, if there's anybody there. So actually, my show is totally crap today, so I do apologize for that. So I just posted it now. So anybody can help me anywhere? Got anything to say, Constantine? Because I really need help today. Totally.
Well, I mean, what do you think about, I heard something the other day, and I heard some of the things that you're talking about you're like from Canada someplace?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, do they have the same kind of system like they do down here? If you're like caught for some kind of crimes, that they confiscate property and things like that?
No, all depends about crime. I mean, I've not.
Well, in other words, like, do they confiscate things as part of criminal investigation, or because you don't pay your taxes, or that kind of thing? I remember you saying something about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they can come in your house if you are in an investigation and take your computer and stuff. It all depends what investigation. I mean, this is what I heard, but I'm not really sure. See, I've never been in that position, so I really can't. I mean, like grow-ups and all this and that. They've got a lot of grow-ups around here, and but otherwise, I really cannot really answer that question. I mean,
the reason I was asking about that is I was talking to somebody yesterday that was from Ireland, and they said that a lot of the bombings and a lot of the things have gone on with the IRA, the Irish Republican Army, or Republican Army. I can't remember what it's called, what it stands for exactly. It's not Independent Retirement Account. I know that. But anyway. Yeah, but anyway, Individual Retirement Account. Well, anyway, it's the IRA, the group that bombs things like that used to bomb things from Ireland. Anyway, from what I understand, one of the reasons why they haven't been as active as they had been in previous years is because the country of Ireland, anytime somebody's suspected of that, if they haven't been paying their taxes, they confiscate all their they confiscate their property if they can't justify being able to afford it. And I was just kind of wondering, if you follow my meaning.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but no, I haven't. No, they haven't gone this far yet, I believe.
I mean, so, and I'm not against law enforcement or everything like that, but it seems to me like it's just an excuse to, to take people's property and then resell it and keep the money, But I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
And then they still make you pay what you're supposedly owing them.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they do it before the person's convicted. That's the thing. If they're proven guilty, then take it. And I can see that, but I don't know. It seems to be really invasive. And of course, here in America, they don't have anything quite that blatant, but sometimes they will confiscate property if there's drug charges or something like that involved. And I was just kind of thinking, I was just kind of wondering what y'all thought about that.
I just missed a caller.
You got a caller?
I just missed it. I turned around and then she hung up. I think it might have been Kathy, though.
Oh, okay then. Oh, so everything all right in your end? You're still waiting?
No, I don't know. We're still waiting. The sheriff's department just called back and said they were gonna. And when Rev answered, he said, "I just want to let you know that I record all my phone calls." And they said, "Oh, well, then we're gonna arrest you for felony wiretapping."
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like freaking out, but. As soon as he got back, I went online and I wrote down the Fourth Amendment, and also I found the Florida statute. that prevents a police officer from just randomly stopping someone and patting them down, because it's exactly what they did. He was just he was on his way home. The cop pulled right in front of him, jumped out of the car, and started searching him, and there was no reason for that at all.
Wow.
How far was he from being home?
Like not even a block.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah. So.
And they just stopped him for no reason at all?
For no reason at all. Literally no reason at all.
Is this somebody they knew? Or is it a strange
No, but
police officer?
Like they do to them.
But the sheriff's department and the police department here are very familiar with me and him. So.
Okay, I think my guest is going to call in. So
Okay.
hold on a minute. I just have to send him the number. So that would be good. Hold on a minute. I just got an email now. So, but that's scary. I think Samantha should be moving because I think it's getting too ridiculous. And you know what the next step will be? They're going to go after the kids.
Yeah.
You know that.
I don't know if maybe they thought, like, it could have been that they noticed, but I don't want to jump to that conclusion because it also could have been, we have neighbors a few doors down that are drug dealers, so they may have assumed that he was someone going towards that house or something. You know what I mean?
But I mean,
but
would
fire or
they'll be
something.
breaking the law without having any,
Like stopping him for pre-crime or something.
Right.
I don't know, but apparently he said what happened was the cop jumped out of the car, said, what's your name? And Rev's like, why are you even stopping me? You know, like, what? You have no reason to stop me. Why are you even talking to me? And the cop said, the cop grabbed him and started like patting him down, and then he ran his name and shit, and then he was like, okay, you can go. What the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
God. I'm surprised.
Doesn't sound very legitimate to me.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? I'm surprised he didn't go to jail as much as he runs his mouth, you know? Like, he was probably going off about the Constitution and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the thing. Jimmy Buffett's number one rule of life, you don't want to go to jail. So, remember that, folks. Live it, know it, learn it.
I haven't been to jail yet, and I don't plan on heading that way anytime.
No. I've never been to jail, but back when Rev got arrested for the, and the charges got dropped, they just basically arrested him just to be dicks. Like, they had no charge to stand on. And, they were going to arrest me for videotaping. They were going to charge me with felony wiretapping for videotaping the whole thing. And I was, like, hysterical in the back of the police car. Like, I have never been to jail. I've never been arrested. I've never even been detained before. So I was, like, freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Did you hit them with your purse?
No, I was screaming. I was being loud and irritating, but finally they realized I kept going off on them like, you can't charge me with felony wiretapping when it's a public place. You can't. It's impossible. So then, like, after like an hour of holding me in the police car, they finally realized they couldn't charge me with anything and let me go.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes women when
Turned around and
somebody's
like a
detecting their
citizen's
boyfriend
arrest.
or husband or whatever, get pretty militant. So
Yeah.
they'll watch out for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but the thing is sometimes, usually a guy will show a little bit of restraint, in a circumstance like that. But boy, I tell you what, you make a woman mad about messing with her man, she doesn't even think about it, man. She just starts whopping on you.
Yeah.
Like you go girl, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because like I had the before I was even being detained when they were arresting him, I had the camera out in the cop's face and the cop's screaming at me to turn off the camera. And after like a good 2 minutes of arguing with the cop, Rev finally like trying to like calm me down. He's like, just turn off the camera, Sam. Just turn off the camera. Like he's trying to reason with me, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I have every
Right now.
camera on. I was freaking out. I'm like, it's my fucking right to have this camera on. Oh God, I don't know.
Oh boy. Happy Saturday, Sam.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can just stay around, see if he's going to call in. So
Yeah,
that would be okay. Thank you very much. So I mean, it's really hitting off in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the link that was posted is quite amazing. So what do you think about that, Sam?
What was it?
you know where that guy is posting that there's something going like?
Oh, I haven't read it yet.
Oh, you haven't done it yet?
No.
Okay.
Rev said something about it, but I didn't read it yet. I didn't see it.
Right. Well, I posted it in both of the chats, so maybe people can look at it, and maybe Rev will talk about it later on. Well, I'm waiting here for my
He
what?
did say he was going to call, right?
Yeah, he said what's the number. So anyway, Constantine, you're a great person to have around. Just keep talking.
Yeah.
Or Amy or anybody who wants to call in and say something about today. Otherwise, I'm going to try to find some news, which probably is never any good anymore. So, but it's a shame that this other guy couldn't call in, you know, who called me Islamic fanatic or something, which I find really funny because since everybody knows I'm not Muslim, but I don't care what people are. So long they treat me nicely, I treat them back with respect. Anyway,
don't try to pretend like you aren't evil. You're an evil Satan worshiper, Ziggy.
Please.
We can see through you.
Oh my gosh! I know it's full moon today, so I'll probably have to dance around some
All
tree
right,
or
all right.
something.
Here's your caller.
Okay then. Thank you ever so much.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Worthington.
Yeah, that's right.
Hi. Oh, thank you very much for calling in. Oh, I didn't know how to get a hold of you because I haven't even got long distance in Canada. So, but I would like to say thank you very much for calling in. And I read your article about Omar Khadr, and I'm really interested in that story. Reason being because he does not get covered much in Canada anymore. And could you break down a little bit, or could you tell Omar Khadr's story? Because that young gentleman now is 25, and is he still in Guantanamo Bay?
He's still in Guantanamo Bay. When he was initially seized after a battle in Afghanistan between some men that Omar Khadr was with, who were surprised in a compound where they were by U.S. forces. And in the battle that ensued, everybody was killed of the people that Omar Khadr was with, apart from him. And during that confrontation, a grenade was thrown at a U.S. soldier who subsequently died. Now, Omar Khadr was 15 years old when this took place. So from the basic point of our understanding what happened on that day, I mean, this is a boy who had been taken to Afghanistan by his father. Now, according to the optional protocol on the rights of children in armed conflict, which the U.S. didn't actually sign until a few months after his capture, but this is part of the UN treaties that are intended to provide rights to juvenile prisoners seized in wartime. Then Omar Khadr was a juvenile. He is not supposed to be judged as being responsible for his actions. He was a child who was under the influence of his father. But the United States has never, ever taken this on board. So from the moment that he came into U.S. custody, he wasn't treated as he should have been, which is that he should have been rehabilitated. If he was to be held as a prisoner, he was supposed to be held separately from adult prisoners. And of course, he isn't supposed to be subjected to the kind of coercive interrogations and the kind of abuse to which he was subjected. That's the kind of background to the story. I mean, the issue of whether he threw this grenade that killed the U.S. soldier is something that is supposed to come out in court. The prosecution have always claimed that he did. The defense team, after many, many years, came across information to suggest that the report of that battle had been rewritten to suggest that Omar Khadr was actually unconscious and severely wounded at the time the grenade was thrown by the last surviving man in that compound who was subsequently killed. But even if this were to be the case, what on earth is the United States doing, putting a child on trial for something which took place in wartime, and they're trying to pretend that throwing a grenade in wartime is a war crime? Essentially, the situation that's been set up in Omar Khadr's case is that if you're on the side of the U.S., then anything you do in wartime is acceptable. But if you're a child like Omar Khadr, who finds himself in this situation and say he did throw the grenade, and I'm not saying that it has been confirmed that he did, but even if he did, why is that a war crime? A U.S. soldier throws a grenade and it's okay. Somebody they're opposed to throws a grenade and it becomes a war crime. It just seems to me that everything about this case ought to be of the utmost shame to the United States. And although I understand that the Bush administration wanted to prosecute this boy because they didn't care whether they were children or not, Donald Rumsfeld, in a press conference in 2003, when it was first explained to the world that children were held at Guantanamo, said, "These are not children." And General Myers of the military chief of staff who was there said, "They may be juveniles, but they're terrorists. We're not obliged to treat them as children." I think this is the background, really. And Omar Khadr has been in U.S. custody from just before his 16th birthday until now. And you're referring to an article I wrote a couple of weeks ago because it was, or a week ago, because it was Omar Khadr's 24th birthday. And he has spent now over a third of his life in U.S. custody.
Isn't it right what I read, that actually Omar Khadr, actually when he was arrested, or when he was really severely wounded, when he came around, that he actually asked the soldiers to kill him? Is that true?
Yes, I believe that that's true. That he did say, "Kill me." That's a quote that I've heard from when he was severely wounded at the place that he was captured. Yes.
Yeah. See, I mean, because he's Canadian citizens, what I find really quite ironic that Stephen Harper is not even helping his own Canadian citizens.
No, absolutely.
And also, actually, the Supreme Court here in Canada actually said that Stephen Harper is actually not following the rule of law about
absolutely. It. I mean, actually, what they did say was they severely criticized the government, but they said ultimately when it comes to this kind of national security issue, it is up to the government to decide what they want to do, what they think is appropriate. So at the last minute, the Supreme Court kind of avoided the ultimate sanction against the government. I think it's interesting and appropriate that a number of courts in Canada have told the government that they're wrong and tried to put pressure on. I think that it's absolutely unforgivable that the Canadian government hasn't attempted to get Omar Khadr back, because some of the court cases that have been happening in Canada that have led to criticism have been about Canadian interrogators who went to Guantanamo, and the courts in Canada have said that was inappropriate. Now, what the Canadian government all along has said for these 8 long years is that they're, prepared to trust the United States to follow through on, what they think should happen to Omar Khadr. They've just abdicated all responsibility. Now, there are a couple of things that I think are particularly wrong about this. One is that Canada has a reputation internationally for having advocated for the rights of humanitarian treatment for child soldiers, but only child soldiers who are involved in conflicts in other countries, such as Sierra Leone, where Canada has been a world leader in calling for the rehabilitation of those people. Now, whether Omar Khadr was a child soldier or in the company of soldiers as a child, there's no difference. So it's unbelievably hypocritical not to have demanded the return of Omar Khadr. And the other thing, and this is where I think it has a bigger implication for the Canadian population as a whole, is that Omar Khadr is being scapegoated for the manner in which the Canadian people in general look at his father and his family. His father was somebody who had taken his children out to Afghanistan and Pakistan when they were very young children. He's colloquially called a fundraiser for Osama bin Laden. Whether that's actually true or not, he lived in a compound with Osama bin Laden for some period of time. And his family in Canada has made comments that have not gone down well with the public. None of this should be of any concern when it comes to Omar Khadr. He's being scapegoated. He is being held in Guantanamo still. He is not being brought back to Canada because he is being made to pay for the sins or the perceived sins of his father. And that's not justice. This is not what we do if we believe in a just system.
No, and I totally believe that too. You know, I mean, I'm personally not Canadian myself. You know, I'm fighting my own battles with the Canadian government. It seems like human rights the human rights law really does not exist in Canada for the unless you, and I'm not trying to be racist or nothing, unless you are actually from a different total ethnic minority or majority. I have found that myself. I mean, my husband himself is being persecuted by the government. I was asked to leave Canada. My husband was an abuse victim of Coburg Reform School, right? And he sued the government in 2002. And since then, he's been blacklisted. Anything he does,
right.
The government is on his back, because I have found out now that he is the only one now left alive from 600 people who actually sued the government. He's the only one left now. Everybody else committed suicide or died. So,
right.
I mean, my story is another story. But I'm always, I used to be a sheep too. When I first read about Omar Khadr, you know what you read in the newspaper, in the ordinary newspaper, until I actually then, my eyes were starting to open up. So,
yeah.
And
well, I mean,
it
really fundamental. Sorry, go ahead, yeah.
No, you carry on, go on.
I was just going to say, I mean, they really just are, to bring it back down to a few bullet points, it's really quite simple. Omar Khadr was a child, was a juvenile when he... There are no circumstances under which it is acceptable for that to happen in a civilized country. Now that's for both the United States and for Canada. The thing that he is accused of is not a war crime. It is an invented war crime by the United States. That's entirely wrong. The only excuse for not bringing him back is because the Canadian government and a significant number of people in Canada don't like his family. Those are the 3 points. That's it. There isn't really anything else to his story. And there is no way that a person who is reasonable, a person who believes in fairness or justice, can justify any of those. But those are my 3 bullet points that sum up the case for me.
See what I feel now. I mean, this is my view. Is I mean, this young man now. He's a young man now. But when he was a child, I mean, the abuse he has suffered while being imprisoned. Now, actually, I will now say, this is my personal view. Is whoever Omar Khadr is now, is the result of his treatment where he was imprisoned to. Of course, he's going to be angry. Of course he's going to be upset, and of course he's going to be anti-Canadian government if he is, because he's been begging to come home, Yeah,
well, he may be. I mean, he may. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he may not. He may not harbour such grudges. He certainly, from the limited reports that we've heard of what he said and what he's written, he feels abandoned and disappointed. I don't know whether anger is an appropriate part of the equation for him. I'm sure that this is a young man who's lost such a huge part of his youth that will never be regained, that all he wants is to try and pick up the pieces of his life. All the stories that I've heard from his lawyers, and, I mean, I have enormous respect for his Canadian lawyers who've worked so hard for him, and also for the American lawyers that, periodically he's sacked because... the only weapon that he has in Guantanamo is to sack his lawyers, the only power he has. But he's always stuck with his Canadian lawyers. They don't portray an angry young man at all. They portray a young man who has been robbed of his life, who only wants the chance to get on with it again. And again, it's going back to who was Omar Khadr, age 15, when he was seized. He was a boy who had been manipulated by his father. That's where we make the distinction between juveniles and adults. We credit adults with being able to make their own decisions. Even though obviously some young people who are not juveniles are also under the influence of people. But we have to draw a line to separate children from adults. And Omar Khadr was manipulated, So, I don't think anger comes into it. I think this is a man who, while clearly is going to be traumatized by what's happened to him. I've not met or spoken to a single prisoner, however brave and capable they are, who isn't traumatized by what happened to them. That's the case.
Well,
he just wants to get on with his life.
Well, and I totally agree with that. But my husband, he's now 51 years old, and what happened to him when he was 13 to 14 years old and more? He is angry. He's angry. He's a Canadian, but he is angry against his own government. Reason being, he said he never wanted money or anything like that. All what he wanted is an apology from the Canadian government and from the Queen in England, saying, yes, this did happen, and we are really, really sorry. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how much therapy these people get who are being abused. And, I mean, Omar Khadr probably, his abuse, is very severe as well as my husband's was. Their whole life will be affected by this. Their moods, they, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I've been...
I know.
You know what I mean? So what's happening? Where's Omar Khadr now with his trial? That's what would interest me.
Well, his trial is supposed to resume in about 3 weeks' time. This has been ongoing since he was first charged in, I think it was 2005 or 2006. Since then, the military commission, the trial system has been ruled illegal by the Supreme Court, has been brought back. I don't know why they're still proceeding with it. I mean, as the clock ticks down to when this trial is supposed to take place, I have absolutely no idea why there is not the highest level meeting taking place between the Obama administration and the Harper administration to say, we need to sort this out. This guy has to come back to Canada. The Obama administration, doesn't have enough belief in what it's doing the way the Bush administration did when the Bush administration said, we don't care that he's a child. The Obama administration is embarrassed by the fact that some people have noticed what's going on.
I don't know.
They should sort out a deal, and they should get him home before this trial begins. But I'm not going to hold my breath to expect that it will happen because, of course, the Canadian government has persistently failed to do the right thing by Omar Khadr.
Yeah, and how many prisoners are now left in Guantanamo Bay?
There are 174 people still in Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, okay. Wow. So that's. I mean, I'm really still surprised about really what's happening to Omar Khadr, and that the Canadian, Mr. Harper is digging his heels in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't get that into my head really.
No, it's depressing, and I mean, it's partly a failure of, that enough people in Canada haven't been able to break through this taint that Omar Khadr had because of his family to do the right thing. In other countries in the West, people campaigned for the release of their citizens. It's only in Omar Khadr's case, and to me, it's more depressing because Omar Khadr was the pressing case of all because he was a child. I don't see how people get away from that. But I have, I don't receive that much hate mail on my website, but on the few occasions that I have, it's been pointing out to some Canadian people that this is a child and that they should have been pushing their government. And I've had hate mail about Omar Khadr.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've read some of the stuff actually from that lady in Toronto, the journalist who wrote a book about it, Guantanamo Bay's child.
Guantanamo's child.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And she had quite a bit of hate mail there. I mean, the last time I read about Omar Khadr was maybe 5-6 months ago in the newspaper, and it was more negative than positive, really. Although the tide is shifting a little bit,
Yeah.
But sometimes. But again, people only read what they read in the newspaper. The majority of people, and don't.
Well,
really
I think that
Yeah.
No, I think there's been some decent coverage in Canada. Actually, I mean, I think the Canadian media is not as skewed as the U.S. media is, and there isn't just Michelle Shepherd at the Toronto Star who's been, who wrote the book and has been covering his story well. I think some other newspapers have, but in the end, that doesn't make enough of a difference. Not enough people have been able to persuade their government that it's important, and the government clearly doesn't care less.
No, that's right. And another thing, I mean, maybe you can, if you got time, one day you can have a look at another story. Actually, what's actually happening in Canada? There's an American citizen who's been held prisoner in Canada here for the last 5 years or 4 years, I believe. He's been was held in a psychiatric unit in Quebec. He actually just drew a comic book setting about family bush, facing God, and he came over to Canada and asked for asylum, and the border control in Canada stopped him, and he was then put in prison and then into a mental hospital, and he was on trial. He had a court case a couple of weeks ago, and we have lost contact with him because he's now been moved from the mental hospital to a prison, and we have lost contact with him. Actually, the lawyer contacted the station about 2 weeks ago, but we haven't heard nothing since. But apparently, what came to the forefront is that Karl Markowitz, his name is, actually was something happened with, they inserted him with something in his brain or something. I have got no idea. But that's the last thing I heard, and maybe I can send you a link and you can have a look at it.
Yeah, please do, yeah.
That would be great. Anything else you would like to add to anything? But you know what? I'm really thankful that you called. And, because Omar Khadr's story has to be heard. And, some people in the United States probably have not even heard of this young man. And I'm glad you... Sorry?
With this trial coming up, I mean, it's a good time for people to know if they don't know. So, thank you very much.
Hold on a minute. Amy, have you got anything to say?
No, I was just going to tell you I hadn't heard about this, so...
See? That's quite amazing. Okay. Anyway, thank you ever so much for you calling in, and I will send you the link, and I will keep in touch. Or maybe you can keep me in touch with Omar Khadr. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Right. Okay. I'm glad that happened. That was Andy Worthing from the United Kingdom. He is an author and a journalist who is covering the Guantanamo Bay story and about Omar Khadr. So I'm glad that story came out. So you never heard of it, Amy?
No. I've had a hard time following regular news lately. I just, I don't know.
Right. How about Constantine? Is he still there? Constantine? No, Constantine is probably making dinner. So anyway, it is now 5:43 on a Saturday afternoon. If anybody would like to call in about what you just heard or have got any points of view, please do call in. I would love to hear your point of view about what you just heard. And anyway, again, about the Berkey filter system, please, if you want to go into this contest, $25 gives you 10 tickets. And it will be drawn on U.S. Thanksgiving, and you can get the lovely Berkey system silver, and you can have fresh water. Also, don't forget about the yard sale, what's still going on Facebook. We need to say another 100, maybe 150, as much as we can, because we have to beat the Snoopy big brigade. Okay. See, my mouth is not going in gear. And I'm just wondering what's going on with Rev J, because he was assaulted by a police officer when on his way home on his bicycle, was stopped, asking where he was going. He said he's going home, and the police officer said, well, I've never seen you here before, so let's get off your bike, pat you down. And so I don't know what's happening with him. He's waiting at the moment for the sheriff. So it's an eventful Saturday. So Wow, I thought I thought my life was interesting. I'm glad. So, anything else, Amy? Maggot, you want to call in? Because I always like to hear from Maggot. Because I'm dying here at the moment. I'm just going to have a look what's going on in the Toronto news. Fill you in a bit what's going on in Canada. Actually, it was quite amazing. I just checked my Facebook about a couple of 15 minutes ago. And out of the blue, the lady who always stood by me when I had to go to court, and she actually lost her job for sticking up for me about the abuse in the nursing home and everything. And I have not spoken to her for 4 years, and she got in contact with me today. So I'm really happy about that. So anyway, I said to her, if you want to listen. Anyway, hello, Anne-Marie, if you're listening, thank you. I've missed talking to you, and hope we can chat someday. Anyway, what's happening in Toronto? Let's have a look at the Toronto Sun newspaper. This is the newspaper for intellectuals, which is not really true. High-rise residents still homeless after fire. So there was a big fire in a big condo. Help on the way for the homeless vets. Well, hello. 100? Wow. I didn't realize there were. Okay. As many as 100 veterans are believed to be living on the streets of Toronto, but now there's help on the way for the veterans who proudly served the country. Wow, that's a bad time. I wonder who that. 25 years old. He's living on the streets. Well, that's disgusting. I mean, that is, I'm just shaking my head sometimes. These people are, going over there, losing limbs and everything, and then are just thrown like garbage on the street, and nobody really cares for them. That really, really makes me angry sometimes. There's not much really going on here. Nothing going on. Maggotaur won't apologize for the hydro hike. Okay, so the hydro is going up. Hydro, by the way, in Canada, hydro is what the United States calls electricity. So, so that's quite interesting.
Say more on that then.
Yeah. I mean, at the moment they're just starting to bring in slowly the smart meters. That get installed, and then they can regulate the smart meters actually from the big flipping computer base in their big offices, and that's quite frightening actually, because people
they control
really,
basically what you're allowed to use, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Exactly, and
nice.
And actually, I don't know if it's like in the it's also in the United States. Like if you use your your laundry, your washer, and everything during the day, you get charged more as if you use it in the evening, after 6 o'clock. Can you believe it? I mean,
you know what? Of that.
Yeah, that's just being brought out. People are not really aware of it over here. Sorry.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny. Yeah, I just thought I'd interrupt. Yeah, I just thought that's funny because of course it uses more energy to spin a turbine during the day than it does at night. Because it just spins automatically. You don't have to do anything. So obviously you have to get charged more. That's hilarious. That is. You have to pay more just for using it during the daytime.
Does that happen in the UK too?
No, I don't know. Don't think so.
Oh.
They might try it in some areas, but I don't think it happened very long.
Maggot doesn't get laundry. Maggot just
I
brings it to mum.
Yeah, I do it myself, obviously, but my mum's the landlady, so she handles all the bills on the electric and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Just pay a nominal rent.
Yeah, to me that's quite. Yeah. That's quite amazing. Really. So, to me, I'm thinking, don't you pay? Wouldn't the electric consumer bill be more for the electric board altogether if all people are using it at the same time, like from 6 to midnight? Wouldn't that be the same?
Yeah.
Or not?
It doesn't make any difference, does it? It's not like they got like a Hydra Dragon or something, and it was like, I'm getting so cheesed off. having to do this work, during the daytime, ask me during the night,
Want to hear something crazy?
It's
Yeah.
just an automatic thing,
Superman
it's a
was-
machine sort of thing.
Bottle.
As far as I know, it's just a
The
turbo.
most funniest,
Somebody in the background talking.
the most funniest.
He had for his 8-year-old daughter.
I think it's Constantine, isn't it? Constantine, shut your mic, muted. Anyway, I had to laugh about this story. I mean, some people might not think it's funny, but then I got sometimes a funny sense of humor, and me and Maggot were talking about it earlier. And because I said, Maggot, you've been out again for, takeaway, similar. There's a man was arrested for swallowing a goldfish in a pet store.
For doing what?
He went into the pet store, bought a goldfish, and then swallowed it.
Wow.
No, it says here, a 30-year-old British man was arrested Friday for buying a goldfish in a pet store and then gulping it down in front of the staff. A friend videotaped the stand and posted it on Facebook, which got the attention of the police. In the minute-long video, a pet store employee is seen putting the fish in a glass as Caswell bought what he brought with him, saying that he lived just across the road. He then swallowed the fish and left the shop as his videotaping friend followed him laughing. Chris Caswell was released an hour after the arrest. His arrest on suspicion of cruelty to animals.
Oh yeah.
Right? Now,
Serious?
now, if he's convicted, ladies and gentlemen, for animal cruelty, he would face 6 months in jail or a fine of $33,000.
Oh my God.
I know. He told the British.
Swallowing a goldfish.
He told the British paper, The Sun, it was over a year ago. We have been out drinking at a friend's party. I can't remember much about it. I've just got a puppy. I like animals.
Likes to eat them.
Well, I mean, as long as he doesn't eat his dog, I
had to laugh about that. Because I do like goldfish and all this and that. But then in the end, I've never tasted goldfish, so I presume
He
it tastes.
probably got punished by eating it.
You would taste it if you swallowed it whole.
Wow.
Anyway. Do you reckon they're going to start arresting cats for eating fish next?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, it could be alive still. Maybe it's just alive in there. You know?
Well, I mean, it's a year ago. I think it's-
It's like a walking fish tank.
I think, it was a year ago, so I think it's already gone somewhere else.
Probably like
Yeah,
the
that's
most
toilet.
expensive goldfish ever.
Hey guys, real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know what the logistics of it are, if they can do it or not. But I might be getting a felony wiretapping charge. After me being violated, I called the sheriff's department to report it. The chief or something called me back, and so I told him what happened, and I said man in the way in my line of talking. I said something man, and he said, "You call me man?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I did call you man. A long calling you man." And he's like, "Well, then you need to take this up to the highest." He said, "You need to take this up to the highest thing." Then and went to hang up me. I was like, "Well, fine. I'm recording the phone call." And he said, "Fine. If you do that," he said, "Fine. I'm going to file a felony wiretapping charge on you." So
That's ridiculous, Trev.
Just keep talking. I got a phone call. Maggot just can take over from.
I just want to let everybody know I might be going to jail. So if I go to jail, please don't stop calling.
So a guy was just offended. You called him man.
Yeah, he was offended. I called him and I told on his punk little Freemason sheriff for violating me, violated my Fourth Amendment right. He physically laid hands on me and put his hands in my pocket without asking my permission. Without probable cause. No reason.
That's ridiculous.
I got the cops here, so this cop is keep passing my house.
Oh my gosh.
Well, why don't they come talk to you?
I don't know, but it's about to get fucking hairy here.
But you want to keep it on air?
Well, I don't want him to come in the house, so I would much rather handle it in the yard.
Oh, okay then. All right then. I pity your microphone doesn't go that far.
Yeah, right. I'm getting the video cam. Go ahead and talk. I get it the video camera. I'm gonna camera record this bitch fucking come across.
I definitely would.
Yeah, yeah. Back yourself in all corners. You never know. You know. Wow, it's all happening here today.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's like, it's ridiculous. So, like, where's the law that says you have to address, you know, an officer in a certain way, anyways?
Well, you don't, do you?
That. Not as far as I'm aware. I've never, I mean, they may not like how you address them, but I don't see how they can hold that against you. I mean, and the fact that he was calling because his rights were violated, like, they should have been all on the up and up to take care of the situation and not,
yeah, but
they
don't like Rev, do they? They don't like him.
Well, we don't pay officers to like us. We pay them to protect and serve.
Yeah, I know that, but that used to be in the olden days.
Oh, he's so lucky I don't live close to him because I'd be all up over at his house right now. I ain't even playing.
I know.
That makes
So
me
you.
so mad.
So poor Amy, we have to bail her out.
Well, as long as they didn't lock up with me, at least I have company, I suppose.
Oh yeah. Oh gosh, I don't really know what to say about all this.
I hope they get this solved without any problems because that's ridiculous. I don't know. That's just a sign of the times, I guess. I don't know.
But there's no wiretapping law, is there? I thought you're allowed to record for your own personal use and for your own references.
Yeah, I just.
I was aware around here, as long as you let it be known that you are, you know, audio recording, that they can't, you know, like they can tell you no, they don't want to be audio recorded, in which case you have to turn it off. But if they don't tell you no when you tell them that, then I don't see how, you know, I mean.
Yeah, but
in the hopes of using it as court evidence, you see, they can be arsey about it, or it's local phrase, you know, be assholes about it. But you know, I looked it up just really briefly on Wikipedia and call monitoring or whatever, if it's illegal. But it happens all the time because, like, if you work in any business, they record all calls, and they even say on the adverts, you know, be aware that calls may be recorded. You see it on the little text at the bottom of TV adverts. So yeah, it happens all the time. But yeah, it's what you want to use it for. I mean, I just record people just basically for entertainment. Just like upload the shows and put them out. I'm not doing it in order to send anybody to court. I mean, you know, sort of like more of a wah 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 when somebody's made a real prat of themselves or something. Yeah. You know, it's no.
What you ought to do is you should try to get that officer's dash cam and have his superior check that out.
I think we got Kathy on the line.
Yes.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi. Does anybody have a phone number to the sheriff's office? I would like to chat with them.
Oh, is Samantha around? Maybe Samantha can give you the phone number. And you can
phone number. Okay.
And you can talk them.
I mean, I would like to chat pleasantly with them because they need to know other folks are watching too, and that they can't do any old thing they want to do. And they do.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
In this state, there is what they call, I'm sorry.
Him and watch him violate the law he's trying to enforce. That's ridiculous.
Right, exactly. But in this state, they have a two-party consent on the telephone. It's different in public. Now, if you're in public, you have the right to video it without their consent. And you're showing it, you know, you're not doing it surreptitiously. But on the telephone, they do have, I do believe in Florida, it's two-party consent. So if you tell them you're recording, that doesn't mean you're recording. You can say any old thing. You have free speech, you know. And he would have to prove that you recorded him. Whole different ballgame there. So he's bluffing. He's a big fat bluffer. That's what he is.
So I don't think Samantha's in the room at the moment. I think she's probably holding the video camera while Ref is talking.
You can probably Google it.
But if Danny is, I know it's Danny's show now. It's 6 o'clock, and my show is really finished. So if Danny wants to take over, please do so. You don't have an intro because Rev is busy speaking to the police outside his house, or you know, waiting for them.
Just a
So, Danny, if you're
inside the house,
right,
because they have more rights outside the house than they do inside the house.
right. So I'm just waiting for Danny. So we'll just keep talking until Danny interrupts us. So anyway,
Sheriff.
Really?
Yeah.
what happened?
Riding down the street on my bike because they wrecked my car. Fucker pulled out in front of me.
Kathy, what do you think about the whole situation? What you
I
heard?
think they're a bunch of crooks. That's what I think. And the last time I tried to call in, it seems like, I don't know, it's like they're messing with your program because you're telling too much truth. And you know how you've been having all those phone outages? The last time I tried to call, as soon as I tried to call you guys, my internet and my phone went down at the same time. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So I rebooted everything, and then I had to call the cable company because all I had was local internet. I couldn't get on to the internet still. So, you know, it's
Well,
like
that's
the
you,
last
Kathy.
week.
You telling too much truth.
Well, okay, you guys are helping, so I'm thinking they're not liking that a bunch. You know?
Yeah. So there's probably somebody hiding in your bushes.
Hey guys.
They've been hiding out. Who's
Danny, are you on?
I've tried to get him, but no.
Here, let me try to get Danny on. The cop has passed by my house 7 times now. 7 fucking times he has passed.
Rev, that's ridiculous.
Offer him a cup
You know
of
what,
tea.
Rev? They feed off of your fear. Do not fear them because they are big fat bluffers. You've done nothing wrong, and they have nothing on you. And that's
I don't think he's afraid. I think he's more pissed than afraid.
Hey guys,
Have you got the phone number? Have you got the phone number for the sheriff department? Kathy would like to speak to them.
it's the Port St. Lucie Sheriff's Department. We had to set out here with the camera real quick. I got to videotape this shit.
Okay, videotape them, but don't go outside because they have more power outside.
I'm at my own.
Put it in the window.
Here, guys, Danny's not on for some reason. So
Okay.
let's go with the flow. I'll be back in a minute. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, let me Google that.
So, Kathy, did you hear that? What did Rev say?
Port St. Lucie, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if
I know
anybody
how
wants to
that
call, can you put the number in the chat room too? Maybe people would like to
As
call.
soon as I
And
find it. But when you guys call, make sure you're very pleasant and let them know that we are watching them and have a biggest smile on your face and your voice when you call them. So that they know we're not lunatics and we know what we're talking about.
okay,
It's on
but
good.
we're gonna put you on that case, Kathy.
Okay, I'm on the case. I don't like a big fat crooks.
So that would be great if you could do that. Have you got another phone so we can listen to what you're saying? Live reporting?
You know, I feel bad for people like Rev because, like, what if it comes down to where he needs to call the police for their assistance, and because they know who he is and they disagree with him, you know, he can't get the help he needs at the time, you know?
Oh, no, he can get the help he needs. All you have to do is hold their
No,
feet to the fire.
I mean, through, you know, the officers he's got around him, not one of them seem very interested at all in trying to protect the area around them. They are far more interested in just trying to, you know, harass, you know.
They have police and sheriff there because I'm showing police.
Do what? Sorry, I cut out.
Do they have a police and sheriff department there or just police?
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. You can phone them and see if they got a sheriff there too. So.
Okay.
If it's anything like where I've lived before, those two work so far hand in hand, it doesn't matter what badge they're wearing, you know.
Yeah,
But like, I just feel that, you know, what if say something was to happen and one of his kids had to call 911? Would they actually show up to help them, or would they take their sweet ass time? You know, things like that.
Okay, well,
bother me.
if you
They're
let
more
them know,
interested in showing up
if you
to
let
harass
them know,
them.
yeah, that's harassment. That's what that is. If you let them know that you know your rights, just like that lady from. Who was it? The one that had the FBI call her up. She had a great video on it. She handled it. And that's what people need to do. Let them know we know our rights. We are not playing with you.
Yeah, I mean, you totally have to be prepared. You know what I mean? I always carry now my camera with me, you know, and my recording, my other recording, voice recording. So, you know, just for my own safety, really. And actually, why I do that too? No, to watch my mouth too, so I don't say anything out of line. You know what I mean? For my own protection, for protecting my own mouth. So, Coffee's on the Coffee. Coffee reporting. Where does Coffee live? She's reporting live from the...
From Maryland. Reporting on hang on a second. 8715. It's 772-8715,000.
You have to love Coffee for this.
I just think it's a shame that, he's paying for this kind of service. He's paying for his own harassment through his taxes, and that's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, this happened to me last year. Last year it happened. 2 o'clock in the morning, there was some knocking on the door, and they were after my then 14-year-old son. They said he done this and that, and I got out of bed, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not the best in my my thing. So I answered the door.
What's his location there? We can't give that out over here. Don't do that.
No, we can't give that out. No. No. Just say Rev J. I'm sure he's going after...
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They all seem to know him by that name anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, this policewoman, she was really rude, and I said, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, la 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 la. And I pointed the finger at her, and I was arrested for assault.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's so discouraging that, I'm supposed to rely on protection from those people.
Calling from Merritt Island, Florida. And a friend of mine named Rev J has a police officer that's been stalking his house for some strange reason. Could you find out why that's going on for me, please?
Wow.
Yes. You wouldn't know where to look for it. Who would know where to look for it? It's a marked car, so I'm sure somebody knows. Driving back and forth in front of his house, he told him he was going to put out a warrant for him for a telephone conversation they had. We do have the free speech bill in this country, don't we? I thought we did. So I'm thinking this is not a good plan. Okay, well, maybe they haven't been just catching, probably just harassing. Okay, well, I'm going to have him video this officer for you, okay? And then we can get to the bottom of the matter. We'll give you a call back. Thank you. Now, tell him to get a
Maybe
video.
Maybe you can put a car number on that, too.
That's what we need, a car number and a video. The officer's name, a car number, because he's not supposed to be there. He said, we do have the free speech. I already knew that. That's a bunch of BS. He's harassing him for no reason. Because he thinks he's God.
Well, good for you, Coffee.
A lot of police officers have that problem.
Yeah.
And you have to let them know that they are not God, or else they will run all over you.
I'm wondering if Maggot is recording this.
I'm hoping somebody is.
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, Maggot. Superstar Maggot.
Anyway.
So
yeah, just checking.
At least
so
they know
he's been recording for 1 hour and 9 minutes.
So is this pretty typical everywhere else around the world, or I don't know?
Pretty much, it's reciprocal everywhere.
It could be a reaction.
Well, I think
no police.
I put out a show. It was just like recording from yesterday when some guy from We Are Changed called in. Is it Sean Wright from?
Yeah.
Was it Minnesota, wasn't it?
Minnesota.
Yeah. Minnesota party of We Are Change or whatever, and just exposed them all over the place through the duration for the recording. And I put that up on the internet today. That's been out for a few hours. So this might be a way they can't obviously get at me, apart from anything else. I'm like 4,000 miles away, and it's like ha ha ha, stupid Yanks can't do anything to me. But they can get at him, you see, because he's probably...
They can, but they can't hold him long. Yeah.
Well, that's it. They can't hold him for anything, but they can harass him. And they can be annoying, and they can try and intimidate him or provoke him into doing something that they can.
Oh, like a little gnat. That's all they are, little gnats.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's quite amazing, really. I mean, you can see the rope tightening more and more and more. That all our freedoms are taken away, no matter really where you are.
Okay.
You know,
only if we let them. Only if we let them. When we
so we
stand up,
really have to watch each other's backs now.
Exactly.
Well, they can't do
Exactly what we
anything
have to
now
do.
about that show anyway. That's released and put out on the internet. I know I also put it on Conspiracy Central. I put an advert on Conspiracy Central pushing it, and I think that's got like 10,000 members or something on it. And so they can't. I mean, TalkShoe couldn't exactly take it down because it's exposed some guys being a Freemason and being a part of a run-for-profit organisation. They can't do anything. So, like I was saying, that's the only thing they can do is like poke at Rev.
I like the Lenny interview. I listened to that.
Yeah.
The Lenny interview.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, boy.
If he carried on a bit longer, I'd have called it the Lenny Bruce Show.
Yeah.
Lenny
So,
Bruce's episodes. Yeah.
What would you say the odds are he's still listening in every day?
He's. Well, I had a conversation yesterday. There was somebody. He's actually contacting people with 6 to 7 different phone numbers.
Okay, good.
With what? I'm sorry.
6 different phone numbers he's got to call in to shows and everything like that. So he's quite an amazing person, really. And that Lenny we are talking about, you know, is actually now starting the same shit again when he done a couple last week. You know, phone calls over phone calls over phone calls. So
so many amazing
33,918 members on Conspiracy Central. So that's how many people the advert went out to. Only people who went onto the shout room, the shout box. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of like circulated around because we did tell him at the time we were recording him. It was Sean Wright.
The only reason we don't know about the amazing people is because of the gatekeeper, Big Fat Liar News Media. That's why we need to hit them really hard. And we need more programs like yours where people can actually see the truth. And they don't like that. They don't like that, not one little bit. Because it's not supposed to get out.
Well, yeah.
No, that's right. You know.
And because it's the internet, it doesn't. Well, it works sort of like it's an escalating spiral or whatever. You know, it increases. So the longer the stuff exposing them's out, the more hits and downloads you get. You know, each day basically increases the amount you get until it reaches like a critical mass.
Yeah. No, this is getting quite ridiculous. So, you know.
Yeah, I had this happen one time to my nephew. He was visiting, and they stopped him for booming. You know, and there was like they surrounded him. They had all his car doors open. There's like all 4 doors open. There's police all over his car searching. He didn't give him permission either. And so I came walking over with the camera hanging around my neck, and they changed their tune then, and they started smiling. You see her recording? That's why cameras are vital. Absolutely vital. You have to have them. Because they're always recording us, and when they make it illegal for us to record them, we are in a full-blown police state. Full-blown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. See, oh, I can hear something.
Okay.
Anybody coming in for the room? Samantha, are you around?
Is he at home by himself?
No, it's Samantha Refje and the children are home, I believe. So.
Okay.
So. Now I was listening to a lady last night, you know, and she was talking about stuff what she thinks is going to happen, and she actually warned people not to take that flu injection. What's coming out now?
Yeah,
absolutely not. Absolutely
No,
not.
especially one in the nose. I mean, don't take any vaccine anyway. But she really believes that there's going to be really a catastrophic things happening if people are taking this flu injection.
Last-ditch effort to kill us softly, because they know we're waking up, and they say, "Oh, if we're going to do it, we got to do it now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but then they're trying to round up. I mean, there's like some military thing happening in the United States. There's a warning out now. Some guy posted a video. Did you see that, Kathy?
No, I didn't need to see it. I know they're here. They've been here a while. And they posted that months ago that they were going to be here this summer. So it's not a surprise. The only thing that's a surprise to them is that they haven't been able to provoke us into a riot. Now that's a surprise to them. So they're sitting around scratching their heads saying, hey, what to do now? So now they have to come up with some new plan. And their new plan is going to fail. All the officers that they have that they think are going to protect them are not on their side. And they know where they're going to be hiding. So they can do what they want to do, but they've already lost the battle. They just haven't conceded yet.
Yeah, it seems like to me that they're really getting desperate now.
Yes, they're very desperate. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they want to provoke. I mean, it seems to be it's getting worse and more over in the United States at the moment. I mean, I can't see.
This is ground zero. They need to take us down, and that's what they said they were going to do. John Todd said in his video, when he was telling on them, he said that the United States is the last cog before they can bring in the UN, the New World Order. And it's because of our Constitution, which limits what they're allowed to do. Well, they've been wiping their butt with our Constitution.
Yeah.
And it's not real pleasant, and the people see it. And all of those folks that are sitting on the fence saying, hey, you know, are the militia crazy, or are these truthers crazy? And it's like that ant show, one where they said they couldn't let one ant stand up or they'd all stand up. That's the purpose of the gatekeepers. We can't let everybody see the other ants standing up, because then everybody's going to stand up and they'll say, well, we're through booking now. Pretty much they already are. Because nobody believes them anymore. Nobody. Even the sheeple don't believe them. I promise you they don't. Go out and chat with them. And they'll give you the same response. I chat with them every day, every time I go out of the house. And nobody believes they're garbage anymore. Around here anyway.
Well, I mean, you're a good advocate for it, really, because I mean, you know, I mean, once you start talking about it, you never stop.
Well, that's the truth.
And I don't mean that in a nasty way, you know, because I mean, you know, I do like listening to you. I know sometimes your points of view are a little bit different than I'm thinking, but you know, I do respect for what you're doing on your end, and you know.
Likewise.
If we all have the same opinions, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. What was that last name?
But I mean, you know, I'm personally thinking Kathy can go over to Saudi Arabia and sell the sand to Saudi Arabia itself.
I've been chatting with them too, honey bunch. I've been chatting with them too. And I told them, I said, hey, Homeland Security will come get me if they find out I'm chatting with you. Matter of fact, they're listening right now. Uh-oh. I don't care.
Oh, God.
So, Kathy, did you say you're in Florida also, Kathy?
Yes, I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. So what do you think as far as the Oath Keepers go? Do you think that's going to help us at all, any? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, the Oath Keepers are going to help us. The police are going to help us. The retired military is going to help us. Many, many, many folks are going to help us. We're not alone here. We don't want to have a fight.
Right. I wonder, you know, like how many of them really, you know, when it comes down to it, you know, or even what some of their superiors may think about them, you know,
I've been
being
chatting
part
with
of the
them
Oath
too.
Keepers and such. Huh?
Yeah, so I said I've been chatting with them too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not alone. I promise you, we're not. And these.
Keep on talking. I'm just gonna.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyway, the snakes who think that they're going to succeed at this, they're deluding themselves. They are so deluded it isn't funny. But they don't have any choice. They have to. They're backed up against the wall right now like rats. And you know what rats do when they get cornered? They come out biting. So they're going to bite somewhere, but it's not going to be very effective because they're going to get stomped on by the elephant. Ha ha.
Yeah,
anyway.
I saw this graffiti near my house. It goes, the ants will conquer the elephant, and then it's only put a response, dream on, leopard boy.
Exactly. Especially since we got God on our team. So the snakes are few. The good people are many, and I do mean many. There are so many across the planet you just can't even fathom. And they're sitting there looking at us.
Yeah.
Waiting, watching, helping with their kinetic energy there. They're all They're all interconnected here. And when you have like 2,000 or 3,000 members who share with their members, who share with other members, it's just like that's why they consider us, they said we were the next threat. How did they word that? We were the next threat up there with Al-Qaeda, only they said Al-Qaeda. They said,
oh, that's ridiculous.
I know, I was laughing about that one. I said, oh, God, these guys are so blatantly obvious. It's not funny. They haven't changed their playbook in thousands of years, and they published it. What kind of dummies are they anyway?
They have to publish it,
if I had a
forget.
secret, I know. If I had a secret, I think I'd be keeping it secret. I wouldn't be publishing it now.
Maybe the lure of making money from it was just too much. You know, they should have kept it secret. But on one hand, they forget
no,
to.
it wasn't about money. They don't care about money. It's about arrogance. They're arrogant, and their arrogance has been their undoing. And that's a fact. They think they're superior, and they are superior to no one. They are actually inferior. That's what they are, inferior. So, when the sooner people figure that one out, then they won't even be worried about the little snakes. They'll be saying, hey, crawl back on your rock, snakes. Oh, no, they can't go under the rock. They need some justice. That's what they need. Justice. And we haven't been getting any. All we've been getting are the crumbs that they've thrown us from their table. And then they pretend like Oprah. Oh, she's a big figure. She's got all the billions, and she runs around, drops the crumbs here and there. But to tell the truth, she don't have time for that. No time for the truth. She's busy chatting about dresses, and ain't no such thing as Jesus according to Oprah. The truth according to Oprah is a big fat lie.
Oh no.
So, yeah, I promise you it is. She's a big fat lie. That's why I was so confused about the rappers, because they kept saying the right stuff, only they were faking it.
Yeah. They all just take Masonic orders. So it's all like sort of like a lifting of the veil sort of thing. But you know, they're like
right.
It's lifting of the veil. That's all it is. They'll kind of like expose a secret at the same time because they know that the people, it draws people in, and then they'll just get enclosed in as part of a deeper secret. I suppose it's like spider's webs or something. You know, it's like you clear off some of the spider's webs, people go further into the cave, and then get trapped by a more powerful spider web. Yeah, I know. I heard some of their songs, and it's just like, oh wow, you're so right on. Oh, you're almost there. Oh dear. Oh, you're just like putting words together that rhyme. You know, just some of the ones are really obvious. Yeah.
Alright guys, well my phone's getting ready to die, so I'm going to have to jump off here. But let Ziggy know I said talk to her later, and I'll try and make it for a round table tonight.
Okay, I'm here anyway. Okay then, Amy, thanks for staying on, okay?
You bet, guys. Be sure and keep me filled in on what's up with Rev, alright?
Right, okay, keep listening. Okay, bye-bye.
It's gone an awful long time.
Bye.
And bye.
Right, we didn't hear any noise. I said he's been gone an awful long time. You think he'd come back and say, hey, I'm still here?
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah. I just come off the phone. My son is upset. He's just got fired.
I'm talking about the Rev. He hasn't been back in a minute.
I know. I hope they haven't carted him away. And Samantha.
Right, it seemed like we would have heard some commotion or something.
Well, I thought I heard the door go, unless it was somebody else, but no. It's all gone quiet.
I don't know. But it wouldn't take much to get him out anyway. They, of course, it is a weekend. What is today? It's Saturday. A lot of times they don't let you out until Monday if you go in on the weekend.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer.
So, I don't know. It's just hanging around. I wonder where Danny is. Is Danny's show supposed to be? Is Danny, are you on air? Hello? No, he hasn't turned up for his show.
Danny, maybe, is he close to where the Rev lives?
I have got no idea. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to end up dropping a nuclear bomb, aren't they? The police. They're just they're informed. The only thing we can do is drop a bomb. It'd be like Doctor Strangelove, and somehow Rev will end up in the bomber at the same time. Surreally, he'll end up in the bomber, being on the bomb that gets dropped onto his own house. You've seen that at the end of
Right, it's
yeah.
just like a patient. It's like a patient in the hospital. If the family members come, they get better treatment than if they don't. Now, if the patient is there by themselves, they're ignored and not treated so good. But if people are watching, you have to be watching.
Yeah.
So, that's what's pretty important. They only get you when you're all by yourself, like they did. Well, they even get you when you're not, like they did Kennedy and they did Martin Luther King, and then they covered up right in plain view.
Oh boy, somebody just sent me a link. There's supposed to be a UK earthquake, false flag, in October 2010.
Yeah.
Taxpayers would question, yeah. And it
How
should,
can you false flag an earthquake?
there is a rock.
How can you false flag an earthquake?
They can cause earthquakes. That's how they forecast it.
Yeah.
You have heard of the HARP, right?
Yeah, but I mean the earthquake has to be real.
I promise you. What's that?
The earthquake has to be real. I know they're going to use it to cover something else, but that's nothing new.
No, they can create real earthquakes.
Yeah, I know.
Well, isn't there somewhere a rock somewhere in the UK on a coastline? If that falls in, it can start a tsunami. I listened to that James Well once, and I heard about it about 6 years
It's
ago.
like the one in Haiti, where they go right down by the fault line there, and
Never heard of it. Never heard
it's a
any
matter
fault
of,
lines over in the UK. It's such a small place, it would have just been shattered before if it had any.
Okay, if there's no fault line, then they can't create an earthquake there. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I've never even heard of
just-
an earthquake. I mean, we had like one that was like a 3 or something. We get like 3s and 4s or something. Nothing much, just like a bit of shaking, and you get we got the fracture marks in the house of an earthquake, but we don't get anything.
Blood.
We don't get anything really to
Blood.
worry
They
about.
can do tornadoes.
But
Maybe
I feel there's something in the air. There's something coming. I mean, you can feel it in the air.
I'll tell you what it is. It's love. That's what's coming. They just don't know it. It's coming in the air. So, yeah, something else is coming too.
No, I do believe that there's something not.
A false flag. You're absolutely right. It's coming.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, because there's so much happening.
Right. It was going to be worse than this, though, so it's not something to be sad about, because they had planned on killing many of us off, and now they're only going to kill a few of us off. So I look at that in a positive way.
Right.
Depends on how you
Oh
look at
boy, I'll be stuffed then. I've got nobody to protect me.
it. Okay, yes you do. God is protecting all of us.
Oh yeah, I know that.
So all you have to do is ask Jesus forgiveness for everything that you've done, and regardless of what they do, they're not going to get rid of you. So there's nothing to fear from them. Nothing whatsoever. It's irrelevant what they do. It's irrelevant. I promise you it is.
Mm.
You just have to believe.
Right.
And that's not a fairy tale. That's the truth. Now they published that. They said we have to kill Christ. Now ask yourself this: why would they have to kill something that doesn't exist? Have no doubt. Doesn't make any sense, does it?
No.
Okay. There you go. You got your answer right there.
I wish
Questions
we
always
could-
come in hand.
I wish we had an update.
Yeah, I wish we had an update too. Come on, update us, Sam, here.
Yeah.
Do you believe that we had the theories that there's like a bloodline of Christ? Like Jesus had children, I don't know, say with Mary or something, and they've got a bloodline. It's been kept secret. I think it's like something to do with it's like the Sangreal or something, and the Merovingians and all that sort of stuff. It's all related to that. Don't know if you've actually heard of anything of that. And Gary Bell goes on a bit. But he's so naughty, Gary Bell. He's like, there is somebody walking around, even now, that is the bloodline of Christ. He is the Holy Grail. And it's like, he obviously knows who it is, and he's not saying.
It's the nobility.
Yeah.
The black nobility. You've heard of the black nobility?
Yeah, sure.
They're not black, really.
I know.
They call them the black nobility.
Uh-huh.
And that's because they are the dark folks. That they're evil, demons.
Well, yeah, I mean, black is used to indicate hidden. It means that they're hidden nobility. So
right.
Yeah, it's like Judas is described as a black man apparently. I don't know if it's actually in the Bible, but that's because he's got some secret. It's not actually that he was like a Negro.
Who is described as a black man?
Judas, apparently.
Jesus.
Judas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus was a black man.
No,
he was a black man.
No, Judas is in
and
Judas
it wasn't
Iscariot.
because he had a secret.
Yeah. No, Judas
But
Iscariot.
he didn't have a secret.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they talked about his woolly hair, and they kept that secret because they wanted everybody to think that black people were inferior, and their ruse couldn't come through unless they hid a lot of our history, which is what they've done for a long, long, long time. They rewrite the history, and then they give it to you in the government schools, and if you want to chat about the real history, even though they've written it in the library, they haven't burned the books yet, they won't put it in the government schools. Yeah, they want to burn the books, and that was Orwell wrote about that. He said they were going to have the Department of Newspeak, and all the people that were the bad people, they were put down the memory hole. First, they would denigrate them and talk about them real bad, like they did Saddam and Noriega and all of them. Anybody who they put in power, and then they get to thinking they have power, then they say, we'll take you out just like we put you in. Watch this. And so they do it. And they've gone to country after country after country, and they've done the same thing. And the people have been asleep at the wheel.
The Nazis did the same thing. That was one of their big things. They did the book burnings. I think Ku Klux Klan did it as well. There's nothing new in that. There was a book called Fahrenheit, maybe 3000 or something like that, and that is made into a movie as well. And that was all it was about. It was about burning books, and the consequences of society afterwards. Some guy had like a library or something, and it was like the last library on Earth, and he was trying to protect it and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, what they have done is they've gone from country to country to country, and they've taken all the native populations and all of their cultural knowledge, and they've stolen it, killed it, and replaced it with their evil garbage. That's what they've done. And then they made everybody assimilate into this. And it's been very methodical. And nothing they've done has changed. That's why I said, how can we not be winning the game when we know their game plan? We have to win.
Yeah, I think what I'm sometimes discouraged about is that they're 30 years in front of us. We don't know what they have really got. And they're going to bring out all these diseases, and some people will be, dropping like flies.
It's Fahrenheit 451, I think, the movie. It's quite interesting.
They're definitely 30 or 50 or so years in front of us, but they're not really if you look at their plan. And they've written the whole plan down. They said they were going to kill us imperceptibly, unnoticeably, and they were going to use food, water, inoculations. And if you know they're going to do that, you don't take their crap. You get your own water, you filter it, you get your own seeds, you grow your own stuff, and you say, screw you guys, we're not taking your shit anymore. We're not your slave. We don't need them, they need us.
They're using the same tactics as the Romans, basically. Yeah, I know. It's the New World Order. I've said before. It's like you might as well just call it the New Roman Order, because they're just exactly the same as Romans. You've even got the fasci on the it's Abraham Lincoln, the big statue you've got, the monument, and his hands are resting on two fasci, one on each hand. The fasci is like the symbol of fascism. It's the sticks tied together with the battle axe thing, one-headed axe on the side, and they use that on all their is it presidential speeches or something, like the big ones, the big I think it's State of the Nation or something, the ones where you see it across the world. So it's all declaration of fascism. The American eagle is like not much different to the Roman eagle as well.
Right.
So yeah, I mean.
See, this is quite interesting because I always remember when I first came to Canada, I was watching TV one day, and I saw this documentary about this 10-year-old boy, and he was so intelligent, it was frightening. And he actually, I believe he lived in North Dakota. Did you hear about him, Kathy?
Yeah, I heard about him. I heard about a 3-year-old girl who was fantastic, too. It's amazing what the mind can do if you start using it. It truly is.
Yeah, and I always remember his interview when he was, I mean, his playmate was an archaeologist, a 76-year-old archaeologist, because he didn't fit into the school system. He was so smart and all this and that. Right. And he was saying, they were asking him, what is your biggest fear? And he said that the United States of America, he said, this is what I will say, in about 6 to 7 years' time, the United States of America will be falling like the Roman Empire.
Right. Just not a shocker.
But I've been searching for him on the internet, and I can't find anything about him. I'm just wondering if the government scooped him up.
Oh, well, not necessarily scooped him up. What they do is they hide it, depending on what search engine you use. It's probably on there somewhere.
Right.
But like Google will hide stuff. They'll take you to a site that says, whoops, link broken. Well, you go to Quee or some other search engine, you'll find it. It'll go right there. So it depends on what search engine you're using, too.
Yeah. Because he was a quite amazing little boy. Not little, but, quite, it was so interesting to...
Right. There's so many interesting people across the planet. You just don't hear about them because the gatekeepers don't want you to know. They want you to think we're all dumbed down, tired, beaten down, ready to be defeated folks. That's not this country. I'm sorry. They got us confused. They got us confused with somebody else. That ain't about to happen. So, anyway, that Lincoln guy, he was a big fat fraud, too. And when I posted that on my webpage, some guy came on and told me I needed drugs. That's their normal MO. Well, you must need some drugs, Kathy. I said, oh, no, I don't think I want any drugs. You can have my share. How's that? And then he started telling me I was a lunatic and this and that. And I said, well, how about that Frederick Douglass? He was a self-taught slave, and he was the best orator of his time. How come we don't have any statues of him? Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, huh, mighty strange. Mighty strange indeed. But
yeah, I mean, that's...
Go ahead.
Crazy. You need medication.
Right. Oh, yeah, if your left toe twitches, you need the pink pill. If your eye twitches, you need a little purple pill. Now you're running and tell which one you need, because you advertise at 20%. Go tell your expert which one you need, and he'll get out his little drug fishing pad and give you some. Right, and that's why I laugh at Rush Limbaugh. He's out there saying, look at all them drug dealers. I'm like, oh, he's out here doctor shopping getting his legal drugs. He's in 777. He don't need none of the illegal ones. And actually, you don't need any of them. You're better off without any of them, except for God's plants. Now, you can use His plants, and they don't want you to have none of them because that makes you healthy, and they don't want you healthy. That's not part of their plan. You did know that, right? Am I cut off? Hello? Oh. I thought I lost you. What happened to the Rev? He's still gone. Is anybody close around there that can go check on him? Is anybody on here? Anybody at all? I hear somebody typing.
Yeah, I was just checking something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, there was a doctor in Texas who was curing people with cancer, and they didn't like that so much, so they took him to court, and they said the fact that he was curing patients was of no consequence. He was doing it across state lines, and it was illegal. I'm like, I don't like that about it. I'm thinking if there's a cure, we should know about it. Right. All his patients were saying, yeah, I have the cancer no more. That's not admissible as evidence. Okay. Okay. People are not getting the real news. So, comes in handy to have your own radio or TV station. So you can talk over the big fat liars. And they tend to kill off all the folks trying to do that. Or discredit them. Put them in a mental ward or something like that. Shoot them in the head a couple times. Say they did it to themselves, of course. Yeah, I like that Gary Webb. They said he shot himself twice. He was a tricky Pete, wasn't he? Oh, no, he did that.
If any, no, nobody can call in because there's nobody on that switchboard, eh? So nobody can call in. Sorry, guys. If you're trying to call in, there's something happening at Rev J's house. Yeah, the sheriff department is coming to have a talk to him for wiretapping.
For wiretapping? That is too funny.
I know. Isn't that great?
Like they don't have time to go catch some real crooks. They got to go harass folks telling the truth. Now we see who the big cat crooks are.
Yeah.
I bet you they have some real crooks running around Port St. Lucie. What you want to bet? I look up the statistics and see how many of the crooks are still running around. I ain't got time to go get them.
Most of them are in government, Coffee, so you don't have to look for.
I know. We could send them to City Hall, couldn't we? Save one gas. Go back home, dudes. That's where all the crooks are. That's what my husband's friend said. He said, hey, crime don't start till police show up. Oh. That's probably true.
Do you find that time is going faster?
Oh, yeah.
The day goes faster?
Yeah, faster and faster.
I mean, I can't, sometimes I'm thinking, where's the day gone? Honestly, as if somebody's always moving the time more forward.
Yeah. Well, I just wouldn't worry about them because their days are numbered, truly numbered. Whatever they're doing with Rev J, they will be punished. That's fact. They may lock him up for the weekend, or the night, or an hour, who knows. But if you didn't commit a crime, well, I won't say they can't lock you up because they've done that many times. That fellow that they locked up is John Doe in Oak City. What was his name? The one where he's got a lawyer brother. You remember his name, Aaron? John Doe number 2. They found him beaten to death, and they said he killed himself. They always say that. And he had bruises over his entire body. They tortured him in jail. They thought he was a different guy. But you didn't see that on the news either. That was on Jana Davis' website. She was the one that was telling about Oak City. 911 was not the first time they've done their bad things. They've been doing them for quite a time now. And the officer, Ziggy, they killed him too. They said he committed suicide. And this guy was in his patrol car. They found blood throughout his entire car. And then they said he crawled across a field, jumped a barbed wire fence, and he had wrist marks around his hands and wrists, and he killed himself. Wow. We have so many magicians running around. They do this shit and get away with it. And then there was that governor, the governor of Oak City. His brother wrote a book called, but it was and the character of his book was called Tom McVeigh, and he was going to blow up a federal building, and he wrote it before Oak City. These guys are psychic too. They're not only magicians, they're psychic. Yeah. I think I had to call the sheriff's department back and see if they located our rep. What do you think, Aaron? He should have been back to the phone by now. Let me call him now.
I got an article I just saw in the Independent. It's quite funny. Queen tried to use state poverty fund to heat Buckingham Palace. The
7-1.
She claims that she's it says documents disclosed under the Freedom of Information Act reveal that the Queen asked ministers for a poverty handout to help heat her palaces. She's claiming poverty.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I jumped on, nobody's talking. So he drove by 9 times. I only managed to record the one time, though. I got the very last time he went by. I tried to get him before, but I was doing the sneaky shit, and I kept getting bushes and trees, and not actually getting pictures of him. But the last time, I was like, fuck it, I walked right out to the road and fucking just videotaped his ass. Yeah.
That's great.
He
Did
saw.
you get his quote?
He spoke. No, it was a different guy. It wasn't the same guy. He I guess he had someone else come in. He had a younger guy coming through now. But the guy, he talked on his microphone as soon as he saw me and drove off real quick.
Okay.
And then we had a helicopter pass over top of our house. Did a little circle and then took off.
How?
Is something going on that I need to know about?
No, not at all. They're just harassing you.
Well, I don't know what's. I think I have a feeling something's happening right now. I think that all of us are about to be snatched up.
You think that's getting ready to happen?
I have a feeling. I really do. I think we're all about to be snatched up.
Huh. Well, they're going to have some snatching to do because there's plenty of us. I think they're in for the fight of their lives. What do you think, Red?
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to stay out of it as much as I can. I have the kids. I have to get to safety. I'm not part of. I'm not part of Babylon.
I'm not part of Babylon either.
You know,
I'm not part of Babylon either, but they're going to get me in the face and shoot them. But I promise you.
No, what they're going to do? They're going to piss off these fucking. They're going to piss off. They're going to piss off Americans. Americans, we are at the point right now in our lives where we've had enough of this. We've honestly had enough. We've had enough.
Enough is enough. That's the truth.
I mean, there's no cause to be harassed by the police. They shouldn't even have that power. They should not have the power there should be a set guideline of laws. Okay, if you kill somebody, then they can arrest you. If you hurt somebody, then they can arrest you. Or even if you break into somebody's house and you steal something, maybe even then they can arrest you. That is certain thing. I mean,
they can arrest you and take you to court. That's what they can do.
Yeah,
they are not judge, jury, and executioners, although they are. They've been doing it lately.
Well, I told the cop there. The cop actually looked at me. I said, dude, I said, you're violating my Fourth Amendment fucking right. He looked at me funny. I was like, you took an oath to the Constitution. Do you even know what it says? And he says, probably better than you.
Is that what he said? Probably better than you.
I said, all right. I said, all right. Well, I said, fine, Mr. Mason. And he's like, oh, you keep getting loud, you're going to jail. I was like, I'm not getting loud. I'm calling you a Mason. You're a Mason. He got in his car and took off. I was running to the store to get milk. I actually had to turn around, come all the way back here to the fucking house. Couldn't even get milk for my babies. Couldn't even get milk for my motherfucking babies.
I don't think that they're coming to get you, Reb. I think they were just trying to harass you. And when we phoned him and let him know that we're watching him and that we would like to know if we have the free speech left, and the guy at the place said, yeah, you have the free speech. He said, what's the officer's car number and his name? Because he couldn't tell us who was dispatched out there unless we knew who he was. I said, well, let's find out about that.
The number was like, 4539, I believe. 4539, I believe it was.
4539. Okay, that's good to know. Because they're not allowed to do that.
No, it's a violation of my Fourth Amendment right. It really is. They're not allowed to do that.
Nope, they aren't. And they know it too. It's not a secret. They might try to make it top secret pretty soon.
Right. Well, hey, on a lighter note, guys, we are being beat. We are being beat on the yard sale thing. We cannot be beat on the yard sale thing. Make sure everybody gets every one of their friends involved. We have to write. If we have to write everybody individually saying just click RSVP yes.
Okay. How much are we being beaten by?
We're beaten probably like about by 10 or 11 right now.
Is that all? Oh, they're through looking.
Yeah, not too much, but he keeps going up. He has a lot. He's having a lot of help over here at his end.
Yeah, and who is it that's beating us?
It is some kid. Well, it's a kid that actually, if you look at here, I will post up this thing here. You can look at his yard sale. You know how like the yard sale section. The yard sale, the things, there's it says yard sale is the first name created by yard sale, and then it says slash, and it says my name. Well, all of them say that. This one here only says created by yard seller. It don't have anybody else attached to it, but it's a guy named Chris Hester. I'm actually starting to think it might actually be the yard seller people themselves trying to
Could be a computer. Computer-generated fake thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what
they do
on
eBay.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the yard sale people don't want to give away their prize to anybody. So what they're doing is they made their own so they can actually win it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, old scam.
And if you get to 99, they'll be at 101, just to make sure.
Yeah, it happened to me a few times at eBay. I
Just
think
like our voting machine.
I only actually bought about 2 or 3 things on eBay. Or even then, I think somebody outbid me with 2 seconds remaining on the bid. And after that happened a couple of times, I just gave up on eBay. It's a scam.
And that's okay. We don't care. There's scam artists everywhere you go. Crooked walk out the door, there's a crook waiting to get you.
Well, that's it. At least it didn't cost anything.
Yeah, that's true. It's time. Time is money.
Yeah, so.
All right, well, where is Justin on or no? Oh, Justin ain't going to be around today. I forgot.
Where did Justin go?
I have no idea. He went out somewhere.
Oh, okay. Well, at any rate, they didn't come and get you, so.
Well, hey guys, listen. Actually, I just got a video. Have you seen the video? It says Homeland Mobilization. It's Larry, I want to play this video real quick. We have 10 minutes left. This is
hello, everybody. Today
listen to this video.
The 25th of September. I've got a little bit of interesting news here. I wasn't going to put it out, but I think this needs to be out there. This is not necessarily good news, but don't jump to any conclusions here because I don't know exactly what this means. I really don't. Nobody knows exactly what this means. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of comments blaming Zionists or Jews or Israel or the New World Order or Obama or any other number of things. But we just don't know. So let me get right down to it. Thursday evening, I received some messages from a very trusted source that I know from the military. And he is telling me that the 82nd Airborne Division has been mobilized for Homeland Security. That's as much information as we could get at that time. Yesterday, I received a message from another friend. This is coming supposedly from a former Army Ranger. Now, I don't know the person that wrote this, but given a lot of other things that I really can't get into that I've heard, I do believe this to be true. As well, a lot of people knock the U.S. military. The U.S. military is involved in some things we certainly should not be involved in right now, but soldiers do what they're told, generally speaking. And I'm sorry, are amongst the most patriotic Americans there are. They actually have a history of doing rather than talking. So let me get right into this. And I'm also going to tell you this.
Doing exactly what?
Out and came out so fast is because when these guys found out, they were pissed. They were upset, and they wanted people to know. So this is what I've got for you right here. Let me get this whole thing up so I can read it properly. Okay, this is what it is. This may be a typical exercise, however, we need to be watching. Please have things ready for whatever defensive action you have planned. We will keep you informed as possible. Here's the notice that was received. 82nd placed on 18-hour alert for domestic deployment from a member of the 82nd. I need to pass along intel. The 82nd was just passed orders for domestic deployment. Today, while at work, they pulled all the companies into the buildings and gave us a briefing that came down from higher. We weren't given the details in full because the battalion levels don't even know the full details. The officers gave the briefings, which is weird because usually a first sergeant would. He told us about some new QRF, which is a quick reaction force, we were going to be put on. The QRF was for domestic issues, such as if a FEMA action plan was put out, or terrorist attack, or if Barack Obama suspended our civil rights. We were told how to round up civilians, how the new rules of engagement were, and how we can't technically detain Americans unless we feel threatened or they are pointing a gun. They told us we had to be ready to deploy anywhere within 18 hours. If need be, they told us we can't do warning shots on civilians, but would be issued less than lethal equipment. There is no plan put in place as far as I know, but here we are on standby as of now. It is a new order put out that each battalion in the 82nd Airborne must be on this standby. We do rotations. These orders were also verified from an 82nd member at Fort Campbell. The above soldier is from Fort Bragg. This may be a routine exercise, but several things about it seem unusual. The soldier above said they may not know all the details until Tuesday. The 82nd Airborne has LRAD. Beneath this says as a retired military man, I still have several high-ranking NCOs and officers that I have called that are still on active duty status. They have confirmed this information but could not speak to the total amount involved. I was assigned to a rapid deployment force at Fort Stewart, Georgia. They have also been put on standby. This is the Special Forces Ranger Battalion at Hunter Army Airfield. I have some good friends around here in D.C. that I've known for years that work for certain agencies, and I will only say that something's got a couple of them spooked in the last couple of days. And one of them even had some information that, you know, those cool bug-out bags we have, well, the government calls them, because the government has new nomenclature for everything. The government always has a cooler name than you do. You can't just have scrambled eggs. They're eggs scrambled, powdered, and freeze-dried. So they call the bug-out bag the Emergency Preparedness Kit. And I'm talking yesterday, one of these guys got a brief about how to put one together, what to put in it, water filters, food, clothes, whatever you might need in case you have to leave town real quick. And they were told that waiting until Monday to have one together was a bad idea. Because, you know, when shit hits the fan, Walmart shelves are going to go empty real fast, so you'll want to have your stuff ready to go already. You know what? Again, I'm sure everyone's going to speculate, or they're just sure they know what's going on, but this could be anything. Just so I can give you a broad array of my ideas, we could have a hurricane about to hit the Gulf. We could have the oil picked up. We could have a major casualty event happening just as a result of that. There have been a lot of meteors singing by the earth, and I mean a lot of them. These things are picking up week by week. Lots of them. There have been mainstream news articles talking about aliens, Fox and Reuters most recently. I'll put the Fox article in. Just read it. This is the type of stuff that gets you called nuts, and Fox News is talking about it. So maybe it's going to be some kind of ET encounter, false flag. I mean, it could be anything. But the point is that, and my concern is this is my contention. When they tell this many troops this kind of thing, and it's this kind of offensive information, guess what happens? That information moves quickly because they aren't happy about it any more than you're happy about it. They're pissed. So that all being said, this, even if they're trying to keep this secret or classified, it's not possible when you've got that many thousands of people that are very upset about it. So the information's already moving. And it tends to make me think that this is more imminent than a precaution or a standby, because, you know, in another week, I would imagine this information will have already gone entirely viral to anybody that cares to hear about it. So this is why I say it looks like it's something close, but what it is only speculation for anybody. So that's the information. Take it for what it's worth. But, you know, I would assume most of you listening already have your go bags. You're already ready to go. And you've already got some kind of a plan. And if you don't, you know, if this has been good entertainment for you, then great. You know, everybody gets to choose their exit plan, I suppose, even if that means passing into the great Netherland. But that's what I got for you today. It seems the country's on high alert right now. And for what reason, again, I don't have any idea. But there you go. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you if anything else comes up on this matter. Might even do some blog TV tonight, but if that's the case, I'll put up another video. Take care until the next time.
All right, guys. I don't know what to make about that. I guess everybody just be a little bit prepared this week. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. So I hope nothing does. But this has been Danny's show. Danny obviously couldn't make it in today. I guess the Saturdays are a little hard for people. Up next is the Truth War Hour with Truth War. And it's been a pleasure. Guys, thanks everybody for being here. And we'll see you in a little bit. Coming up here in the next hour.
Let me be clear, for me, life is not a beach chair. Outside the gates, tell my soul a sign warns beware. You are not prepared to see fit, incarnated in the flesh, just like the clown it. You'll get your skull cracked, crown splits around it. By evil, drowning in the pool of sin, where wicked women and foolish men lost in hell. Like Dante, led by Virgil. Church bells ring, cursed by the worst.